Hi everyone, so today I have another mini ball workout for you. It's a progression to the routine that I have on this channel. I will link the full beginner's routine at the bottom. I'm hoping that this version would be a slight progression and just help you to explore some different options. So come with me and let's see how we go. So hands are down by your side in that low V position. We have the collarbone nice and wide. We've got the feet flat onto the floor and then heels are almost underneath the creases of your knees. Just adjust the feet to where you feel comfortable. So for this version, we're going to lift the arms up towards the ceiling. And then we're just going to tilt and tuck a few times to find our neutral pelvis. And then once you find neutral pelvis, just hold in here. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, tucking the tailbone towards your nose, pushing into all 10 toes and the soles of the feet to lift the hips up top. Take an inhale up here. And an exhale, bring the spine down piece by piece. So I'm dropping the spine down from the top of my spine through mid-spine, lower spine, and then my hips come down very last. Inhale, exhale. This is number 2, lifting. I just have the ball gently between my thighs. I'm not trying to squeeze here at all. I'm just holding that ball with intention, as I like to say. Bringing the spine down piece by piece. And again, coming all the way up. So having the arms lifted is just challenging us to have a little bit less of a base of support, because if the arms were down, the arms will be helping us in this bridge position. Bring the spine down piece by piece. So you might notice if you look, well, see what it feels like in your body, but I definitely feel my body swaying from side to side as it's just trying to find its balance. So you might notice that in yourself, and all I'm trying to do on every single repetition is just even it out best I can without causing and creating tension. Nice, we're going to do 2 more, and the second one we're going to hold lifted. So I tuck the tailbone towards my nose. That means that my hips are trying to look at the wall behind me or overhead, and I'm lifting the hips. I'm trying to, as much as I can, trying to keep that tuck in my tailbone. Inhaling here. And I'm exhaling to bring the spine down piece by piece. And what that means is that I'm making sure that my pelvis comes down very last. So moving through the spine in that sequential motion or sequential order. Lifting the hips up here. We're going to hold the hips up top. Before we move, just want to make sure that all 10 toes are pushing into the floor, and we lift the hips as high as we can. The right arm's going to reach overhead. The left arm's going to come forward. And then switching over. We want to make sure here that we're just respecting our range of motion. So just taking this to your comfort, really focusing on pushing through both soles of the feet to keep the hips lifted. Keeping the breath nice and smooth and making sure that the rib cage isn't trying to push up towards the ceiling. So if anything, I'm drawing my rib cage back towards the back of my top. So I've got my right arm lifting overhead here. I'm going left arm overhead. I'm going to go one more time each side. Last time right arm. Last time the left arm overhead. Then I'm going to bring both hands up over the shoulders. Take an inhale here and an exhale. Bring the spine down. Don't rush. Trying to take ourselves down piece by piece. Hips onto the floor. Once the hips are down, let's hug the legs in towards the chest and then just rock the body from side to side. From here, placing one foot at a time onto the floor, we're going to lift the hips, take the ball so it's right underneath the pelvis. So we want it right underneath the back of our hips, back of the bottom. So we haven't got it onto our lower back. So for me, it's actually underneath my waistband, which to be fair, I'm wearing high-waisted leggings, but it's right underneath my hips. We've got the feet onto the floor, knees are facing forward. Make sure the thighs are going straight out from the hip joint, not falling out to the side or going into the center. We keep this left thigh in place. We're going to bring the right leg into a tabletop position. Make sure we're not hiking that right hip up, both arms coming back over the shoulders again. You've also got the option, actually, I should say, to have the hands, so you've got the elbows onto the floor. So go for what you want to go for. I'm going to tap this right foot down towards the floor and reach the right arm up overhead. And then bringing the arm back, bringing the leg back, that's 1. If moving 2 limbs is too challenging for today, feel free just to keep the hands lifted and just move the leg. So I think this is number 3. I'm trying to keep my left knee facing forward Trying to do all this and talk at the same time. My rib cage is always drawing down towards my body, so we call that rib cage stability. I think I've got one more here. You know, feel free. I'm going to put chapters onto these. If you wanted to, you can always pause and take your time with these and then move on to the next chapter when you're ready to. Let's place this right foot onto the floor. Find that evenness through the hips again. Sometimes we lose our alignment and that's fine. We can just readjust here. Reset the rib cage. Left leg comes up into your tabletop position. Right kneecap straight forward. Let's go. Left arm overhead. Left foot taps down towards the floor and then we bring the leg back. That's 1. And then tapping down 2. Where's this arm going? That's it. And then back. A lot of pieces to organize. 3. 4. So I'm trying to keep the pelvis nice and still here. I'm not allowing my pelvis to tuck and tilt. It's just the leg hinging from the hips. Tap the foot down and then come back. And we've got one more here. Lifting arm, lifting leg to complete, and then placing the foot onto the floor. Now, if you wanted to, you could relax here for a while. I have to say this is a wonderful way to help release off tense muscles in the lower back. So if you wanted to, you could just lie here for a bit longer. Otherwise, I am going to move on. We're going to bring the ball into hands, reaching the arms up overhead. We're going to inhale, reach the arms, head, chest forward, pulse the chest forward. 3, 2, 1. Bringing the arms up overhead again. We're going to do that 2 more times. It's just a transition. Reaching forward, pulsing the chest for 3, 2, 1. And then coming back down. On this next one, you can either go into your pulses, or if you want to, you can try and bring yourself up into your roll-up. So I inhale and I exhale to bring myself all the way up and over, reaching the ball to my toes. And I'm going to bring myself up nice and tall. I'm going to shuffle myself back here. Bring yourself up nice and tall. So I'm trying to be quite intentional with my language here. I'm saying bring yourself up tall. So if you wanted to, that means you can also bend the knees or have the thighs out to the side. For me, I'm okay with the legs straight today, shoulders away from ears. Now, keeping the legs, the hips nice and quiet, we're going to rotate to your right. Try not to lean back and then come into center. Rotate left. Into center. You've got option there to stay with just the rotations, or if you want to, you can rotate, lift the ball up overhead, push the chest through the shoulders, stay in your rotation as you lower the ball down and then come back into center. So we rotate, we lift, lift, lift the spine nice and long, we lower the ball, still in our rotation, and then we de-rotate. So if the lift is too much, you can leave that out or slow it down. The ball doesn't have to come up over your head. You just take it to, as I say, your comfort range. You want to move in that range that we feel good. This should feel good. And then lifting. And lowering. So you can watch or you can feel for yourself as you rotate. We want the legs to stay still, the hips stay still. As we lift, I push my chest through the center of my arms. I bring my hands back down and then I de-rotate. So what we're doing here is we're twisting from the belly button up, which means the hips and the thighs stay still. Last on this side. And lower down and into center. And then last one here, rotating, rotating, lifting the arms, the chest. Oh, it's nice. And then bringing the arms back down and then back into center. Let's bring ourselves onto our backs. We're doing our double leg stretch. This one's going to be a little bit ridiculous. I'm not going to lie, but just come with me. It's all a bit of fun. We don't take this too seriously. So onto our backs. Take it to where you need to take it to today. One leg at a time into your tabletop. So I can't remember if we did this one the last version, but the option, you have an option to keep your head onto the floor. Otherwise, the head and chest is going to be lifted. And we're going to reach the legs out long, reach the arms overhead. You're going to bring the ball forward, take the ball between your ankles, reach the arms long, reach the legs long. And again, you're just going to, we're switching the ball between hands and ankles. If it's getting a bit too crazy and you don't want to switch the ball, you can have the ball either between the hands or either between the ankles and just stay there and do the leg reach, arm reach from there. But this is your double leg stretch. You'll notice I'm not bringing the arms any lower than the height of my ears. Wow, try and do this whilst talking. It's interesting. Okay, we're going to go between the legs. I don't need to finish up. We're going to go arms one more time. Legs last time. Hugging everything in. Lower the head and chest. So I finished up strategically so that the ball was back between the ankles, because that's where we need it for the next part. So we're going to bring ourselves onto our sides, ball between the ankles. So bringing ourselves down so that we've got the bicep. So you can't see my arm, unfortunately. My palm is facing up towards the ceiling and I'm lying here onto my bicep. Two options here. You can either have the top palm down here for your support, or we're going to have the arm lifted up towards the ceiling. My palm is facing forward. And from here, we're going to lift both legs and lower. We want to make sure here that we're not allowing that top hip to roll back or forward. So if you find that's happening, just place the hand down. That's going to help with your support. So as I lift, I'm trying to reach the legs long, 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 long. And then lowering down. I'm going to do two more, I think. So here's one. On the second one, we hold up top. Squeezing the ball 3 times. 3, 2, 1. Lower the legs down and lift. And we go 3, 2, 1. Option to reach the arm overhead and then lift. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Lower, lower. And then lift. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Lower, lower. And lift. I'll do one more. Why not? 3, 2, 1. And lower, lower. Nice. Same on the other side. So we just come up and we swivel around. Try not to take the mat with us. You don't need to do that. You can just face the other way, but I don't think you want to see me do this with my back to you, because that wouldn't be very helpful. So we've got the legs long. Legs are slightly forward of the midline. You can have your hand there just to help you sort of bring yourself so that your top hip isn't rolling back. You want the hips nice and stacked. If it feels uncomfortable, place a cushion underneath the hip or a folded up towel. Otherwise, arm lift, shoulders away from the ears, and then we lift both legs. I'm pushing my bottom leg into my top leg, and that helps me lift the legs up. 1. And I lift in 2. So one side is likely to see something different. I can tell you this side is doing something different. This is 4, I think. Don't count. Just count your own. We want to do roughly about 6. Only because it's an express class. If this was a full class, I'll probably be looking more to 8 to 12. So if you wanted to do this on your own. But here we just really focus on in any class, we focus on the quality of the movement. On this next one, we're going to hold the legs up top and we're going to squeeze the ball. 3, 2, 1. Lowering down. Lift in, squeeze, 2, 1. You can lower the arm overhead if you want to. Lift and lift. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Lower, lower. And lift and lift. Rib cage not pushing forward. 3, 2, 1. Lower, lower. Lift and lift. Squeezing for 3. We'll go one more. Lower, lower. And lift in, squeezing for 3, 2, and 1. Brilliant. Well done. Let's take the ball all the way down. We're going to come onto our tummy for our back extensions. Okay, so I decided to go the other way. So we're lying onto our tummies. We've got the hands onto the ball, shoulders away from the ears, and my head and chest are lifted. If this feels like already too much back extension, take the ball away and just do this with the hands onto the floor. So from here, we keep the shoulders away from the ears. I'm lifting the head and chest and just keeping the back of my neck long, and then lowering down. Lifting 2. And lowering down. As I lift, I'm just trying to gently glide the shoulder blades down my back. Not excessively, I'm just feeling like I have some stability there. And we're not lifting right up into the lower back. On this next one, let's stay lifted. Now you're going to reach your left leg long to the point where the left thigh floats off the floor. And you're going to reach your right leg long to the point where the right thigh floats off the floor. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale in here. As you exhale, you're just going to flutter the legs. Inhale, kick, kick, kick. Exhale, kick, kick, kick. If you're feeling brave, you can lift an arm and kick, kick, kick. And you can do the same on the other side as well. You can keep doing that, or you can keep the hands onto the floor, onto the ball, sorry. Nice. We're going to go one more deep inhale here. Long exhale. And then lower the head and chest. Last move here, coming back into our lifted position, lifting the left arm off the ball, watching our little finger as we move it over to the side, and then taking the hand back. Reset the shoulders, right arm lifts, splaying the fingers so that the finger comes in towards the right side of your thigh, and then back again. One more time each side. And then back, one more time on the right. So we're getting this is a sideways flexion of the spine. Hand comes back, taking the hands off the ball before we push ourselves back into rest position. Look after your lower back here. Just pushing yourself back into rest. Last few moves, we're going to do our 4-point kneels here. Sorry, this is going to look great in the editing where I keep changing ends, but I'm just trying to always get the best angle for you. So I think this is the better side to start on. Okay, so we're now into our 4-point kneel. We're going to hook the ball in between the calf and the thigh. So to do that, I have to reach the leg long, and then I sort of bring the ball back. Sometimes having the foot flexed or pointed can make a difference there as well. Just go for whatever feels good, but we're going to push the hands away from the floor, and we're going to make sure that the belly button is just lightly drawing towards our spine. Not massively, I'm always thinking about 70%. Shoulders away from the ears, and don't allow the head to drop down towards the floor. So keeping that neck nice and long. We're going to lift the leg with the ball up towards the ceiling and then lower back down. Hip bones facing down towards the floor. So we lift 2 and down. Keep pushing the chest away from the floor. 3. 4. 5 and 6. Hold in here. And now can you just squeeze the ball 4 times? 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then lowering the leg back down. There wasn't much squeezing going on for me, I can tell you. Oh, let's see how this side does. So hooking the ball behind the knee, having the hands onto the floor, shoulders away from the ears. Okay, this side feels like it's ready. Making sure that we don't allow the head to sort of sink down towards the floor. Hello. That's it. Rib cage not flaring down. Maybe we want to pull the rib cage towards the body. And lower, that's 1. Lifting 2. I spoke too soon. And 3. Even pressure through the hands. 4. 5 and 6. We hold it here, squeeze the ball 4 times. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the leg all the way down. There it goes. Pushing the hips back towards the heels. Nice. And then from here, finishing up with some thread the needle. So we have the ball. Place it just to the outside of a hand. So for me, it's at the outside of my left hand. I'm taking my right arm out to the side. I don't need to lift it too high up because I'm focusing on this rotation. So the back of the right hand, contact with the ball and push through. And lifting. And again, as you place the hand onto the ball, feel the ribcage rotate to the direction of the ball. And then lifting, and then last one here, twisting all the way through. And lifting up, doing the same on the other side. So I'm going to switch over like so. So now this is my right hand, balls on the outside of my right hand. Left arm goes out to the side, back of the hand connects to the ball. Try and keep the left hand as close to the right wrist as possible. I'm trying to have the weight of my body forward. If you find the ball is making you feel a bit unsteady, unstable, you can just do it without the ball. You can do all of this without the ball, and I will show you in another video how that looks. This is 2. Lifting, lifting. Oh, I wasn't supposed to lift that high, doesn't matter. And this is number 3. Into center, we'll do 1 cat stretch just to finish off. So both hands coming down, tucking the tailbone under. Reversing out into a long spine, holding the hips nice and stable, sending the chest forward and then back into your long spine. So what I'm going to make sure of is that I have all the chapters listed down in the description below, which means that you can go back and go over certain moves, or you can stay in one level, you know, one chapter, one move, and do that as many times as you want to before moving on to the next chapter. I'm a big advocate of people just moving in a way that feels good and friendly to their bodies. And so if doing a whole routine on a particular day doesn't feel like it's going to be the kindest thing for you to do, feel free to just dip in and out of any part of the routine. So there might just be one move that you just really think to yourself, oh, I want to do that today. I really fancy that rotation, or I really want to feel the ball underneath my pelvis. Do you know what I mean? So you'll just follow what your body wants to do. Don't feel that you have to go from start to finish on any of my videos. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I will also link the beginner's routine, and I will also record a version of the same sequence without the ball. So for those of you who don't have a ball, know how to do that too. Thank you so much for following along, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.